Hey, welcome to another episode of Making Dough Restaurant Show, where we're obsessed with helping you grow your restaurant sales. That is what we do on this show. And if this is your first time, be sure to subscribe if you're interested in that topic of marketing your restaurant. If you're listening to us on the podcast, equally, be sure to subscribe. And if you're like, who's this person? I have the description about kind of who I am and what the mission of this channel is. My husband and I, we own restaurants. We're super busy, and I'm passionate about helping other restaurant owners grow their restaurant sales. So with that being said, we're talking about Super Bowl today. And our goal is, how are we going to make it not only one of the greatest days of sales for the month of February, but also for the whole 2019? And that happens with an intention and a plan. It won't happen on its own. So that's what we're talking about today. And if you're like, well, I've not planned out my Super Bowl yet, well, perfect timing. So today, that is what we're talking about. And I have the plan for you in a checklist that is free for you to download. It is a 10-step process to market Super Bowl for your restaurant. And be sure to download it. The link is down below. Just click on it, go grab it, print it. If not, just tune in right now and let's go over it together. So first, for anything, we need to start by figuring out where it is that we are right now. So last year, we need to reflect and look at our last year's Super Bowl sales. What was our sales? By that, I mean just right now. I mean, if you can't do it right now, I don't know if you're driving or not, but this is what you do when you have the checklist. I'm asking you to please pull out the data from last year of your Super Bowl. What was sales last year? You can also see the trend for the hours to see, again, when it comes to scheduling your team and all that jazz. For this year, to make sure you accommodate those peaks of sales, because the trends are probably going to be the same, as you know. So let's pull up the data from your last year sales for Super Bowl and figure out also what was your deal. Write down what was your deal for last year's Super Bowl, and also pull up the data to see how many of those deals you sold. That is one way for us to figure out if we're going to continue with that same deal this year in 2019, or we're going to come up with a new deal. So that is very important. Pull that data out and make that decision. Unless you've already made that decision, that's great. So one of the things we did, I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you know, we own pizzerias. So we had a pizza we called pigskin pizza. It was layers and layers of pork. You guessed it right. And it was very popular, and pigskin and all that, it goes with the theme. So we're going to bring that pigskin pizza back for Super Bowl. And also we had a deal. It was not as successful as I wanted it. And I'm changing the deal this year a little bit for what we're going to do. And you're like, if you're just like us, you're like, my deal wasn't as successful, or you know what, this is our first year and I didn't even plan for it. What should I do? I'm going to give you a quick tip on how are you going to craft a promotion that is going to serve you in this way. That you always have to have this in mind, that you want to have a win-win-win situation with a promotion and with a deal that you come up with. Win for the customer, win for operations, and win for the business. And what do I mean by that? Is that, for instance, for the customer, you need to figure out what is it that your customers want. If, for instance, for Super Bowl, you're kind of a restaurant that has like 4 TVs, and you do have beer, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to have a very discounted food dish. So I'm expecting people to come in and drink a lot of beer, and I'm going to make a lot of money. It may not work out for you just because you don't have that many TVs, or you're not like a sports bar and you're not set up for that. So the customer's not going to win out of that deal that you've created. I'm telling you that because that's what we did. And then instead of that, you need to be thinking about what is it the customer actually wants. There are 2 kinds of people for Super Bowl in particular. Some want to, no matter what, want to go to a restaurant and experience Super Bowl outside of their home. They want to see big screens of TVs, sound system, sports bar. That's what they're seeking. And there are a group of people that no matter what, they want to have Super Bowl at home. They want to gather with their friends or families. They will be eating at home. So you need to first figure out what is it that your customers want from you, so you can craft your deal and promotion in a way that serves them. The next phase is the win for operations. You need to figure out what is it that your team can handle. There is no point for you to come up with this great deal that your team cannot handle. Keep things simple. It is important for your ticket times, the stress that you're putting your team on. So one of the things that we do is, we offer one deal. The deal discounted thing is one, and it's one size of pizza. So we can prep ahead of time enough that will get us through the dinner rush smoothly, relatively, so the operations can handle that. So that's another thing you need to consider, considering your team, and you know your team and you know your operations better than anyone. The other thing is the business. No matter what kind of a discounted deal you come up with, if it's not profitable for the business, then it's a no-go, right? You need to be thinking about, is this deal going to be profitable? And you may not, sometimes we do things in the restaurant, we come up with deals and promotions that they may not be profitable up front. However, you're like, you know what? It's getting me a lot of new customers, or it's very discounted, but I'm getting everybody's contact information and I'm able to market to them again and again. So I'm able to take that hit on the profit. So at the end of the day, you need to make sure the business wins somehow out of this deal. Otherwise, no deal. You know what I'm saying? So win, win, win. So think about what's going to be your deal. You can pause this podcast and or pause this video, spend some time, get that checklist, write it down. This is to do, where we're not just talking here, we're trying to execute on this thing. What's going to be your deal for 2019 that you can market for Super Bowl? The other thing we're going to be talking about is setting up a sales goal. So you need to look up last year, hypothetically, for easy math. We're like, okay, sales for the day was $1,000. I want 10% growth. So it's $1,100, or 20% growth. Or is it that you want to double that sales? You want $2,000. That matters because the goal you set will determine our marketing efforts that we're going to put in place. Or even if we choose to spend money on Facebook ads and things like that, your sale will, what it is that you're seeking to get as a result will determine everything else and how we're going to get there. Does that make sense? So that's very important. The other thing you want to consider is, oh yeah, I want to make two. Again, I'm making an example of an easy math. Oh, I want 2,000 for a Super Bowl for the whole day. But is your operation able to handle that? Do you usually, can you food order handle that? Does a team know what to do under those circumstances? Can your stove or your oven handle that? So be realistic in what it is you're seeking. But it's important for us to have that number of sales that we're after, and also how many of this deal we need to sell in order to fulfill our sales goal for the day. That's very important. So those are the logistics that we get out of the way. We got that done. Next, we're talking about marketing, which is the purpose of this video. Yay! All right. So let's start with the marketing. Step number one is always, whenever we come up with a promotion, is this: a photo shoot or a video shoot. That's right. That's the first step. You need to capture visuals. So what does that mean? Well, how are we going to do that? Great. You're going to grab your phone. You're going to set a date and time on your phone, maybe today at 2 p.m., maybe tomorrow at 8 a.m. when no one's there. You can recruit a team member or one of your managers to assist you with this, or delegate this whole thing. Give them the checklist. Hey, guys, you guys follow this and make this happen. You may have a college student who works for you who this may come easy to them. Make it happen. It is important. Let's make some money. You know what I'm saying? So great. Photo shoot. You're going to recruit a team member to take some photos and videos. They can use the phone. If video is a little bit too advanced for you at this stage and you're tight in terms of time, just take photos. If not, photos and videos. You want the ingredients, the making of this dish process. If you're able to have a team member to look at the camera and hold the dish at the end and say, hey guys, I want to tell you about our Super Bowl deal. This and this and this. You got to try it. Come on, check us out. Blah, blah, blah. All the information is down below. Blah, blah, whatever thing the deal is. You get the point. Just a quick 30-second casual, energetic, enthusiastic video that you can get one of your team members to do, or yourself, right? So that's very important. Get that done. Consider you're going to be using all these visuals in Facebook, on your website, on Instagram, Square. You need Insta stories. It needs to be landscape or portrait for this and that. So get all angles. The final product, have a team member hold it on this side of the dining room, from top, from the side, portrait, landscape, all of that. Get as much footage as you can. You're going to use all of these footage in the next few steps. Next, step number 2 is the caption and the storytelling for this deal. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be using all these footage in different places. And it is easy for you to come up with 1 or 2 paragraphs or 2 different captions that you're going to use. The caption, is the text that follows a post on your Facebook post or any Instagram post, the caption, the text. So you are going to come up with 1 or 2 of those. Be persuasive. Think about, why should a customer care? A lot of times it's important to use emojis in your captions. That's a good tip, because it just, when people are scrolling, it stops them in the feed. Just some emojis you can use and things like that. Come up with a few captions. Why should people come in and eat at your restaurant or order pickup at your restaurant for Super Bowl? Answer that question in the caption. You're going to use that in many places. So once we got that done, next what we're going to do is create the graphics. What I mean by that, you're going to go to canva.com. It's a free website. You're going to use many of the templates they offer. It is a powerful tool. People charge you a lot of money to edit your graphics, and they're graphic designers and brand, blah, blah, blah. All that is free, available to you on canva.com. So you need to create the following using canva.com. You need a Facebook header. The template, the size is different. Facebook header, Insta post, Insta stories, regular Facebook post. We're going to use that in ads and Facebook groups later, but stand by. Website header, you're going to make some in-store signs, and you're going to also create the graphics for your email marketing. You're like, that's too much. This week, focus on getting the graphics done. If you can just this week focus on getting the graphics and the caption done, and the photo shoot, obviously. The next week, focus on marketing it. That works too. Just figure out what works best for you. Do your best. But all of these we're going to use. So we do that using canva.com. We're creating our graphics. If you need more information, let me know. I'll be happy to do another video where I'm going to show you how I, in one sitting, create all of the graphics for the different platforms and the promotions that we do. Next is going to be our step number 4, where we're starting to put the deal in different places to get as many eyeballs as we can on this deal. First starting is your home, which is your website. And that is, you're going to make sure that it's in a prominent, where somebody comes to your website prominently, your Super Bowl deal needs to be listed. So all customers that currently come to your restaurant need to know about that deal, so they make the effort to come to your restaurant then. Do you know what I'm saying? So the website, update your website, use one of the graphics you created and one of the captions you created. Hey, you got plans for Super Bowl? Come on out, check us out. We got this deal for you, blah, blah, blah. For more information, click here, what have you. You got it. Next is we're going to schedule these posts on Facebook. Here is what it is. Facebook and Instagram and all of the other platforms that you're present, Twitter, wherever you're at, that you have a following that makes sense for you. In fact, all of them, obviously. Here's what we're going to do. You're either able to use the Facebook scheduling feature that is free, obviously, on Facebook. Instead of you clicking publish, you're simply scheduling a post. You have the graphics. You have the caption. Here's what you can do. This is a quick tip for you. You can use the same text caption with image number 1, same caption with image number 2, same caption. People will not remember the text as much as they will remember the image. Okay, so you don't need to create a caption every 3 captions from now until February 5th or whenever the Super Bowl is. Use the same caption. It's fine. Just change the image or the video that you're creating, and that's just fine. Okay, remember that. So schedule them either on Facebook, directly on the Facebook platform. If not, you can use a third-party platform such as Buffer or Later.com, which is one I use, Hootsuite. There are many different ones. Many of them are free for a limit, like 30 posts a month is free. That's good enough. Sign up and just do that. You got to link all your platforms to them and schedule the post. So from now until then, you have that going out every week or every 3 days, and you don't need to worry about it anymore. So that is done. Step number 6, and a very important one, we're going to be talking about Facebook ads. You knew it. It was going to happen. The reach is really down. And if you're like, you know what, I want to make $2,000 that day, are you able to cough over some money to Facebook? I feel it's well worth the money because they're a business. We're a business. We want to make money. And if I have to give money to Facebook so we can make way more money, then let's do that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I want to give you a couple of tips for you to figure out if this makes sense. Let's talk about it. First is you need to set a budget for your Super Bowl deal. Great. If your goal is, for instance, to make $2,000 that day for easy math, $2,000, 1% is $200. 0.5% is $100, and 0.25, as in 0.25%, is $50. Are you willing to, do you think it's well worth spending $100, $50, or $100 for you to make $2,000? The opportunity to make $2,000, I feel it is worth it, but it is up to you. Now, I want to give you another tip to make sure that you're not wasting your money. And that is, think about who should see your ad. In a case like Super Bowl, my opinion and what it is that we do for our restaurant is to show the ad to a warm market. What I mean by that is people who like your restaurant, who know your restaurant, and they like you enough that they've liked your Facebook page. Those are the people you need to target and try to get in for Super Bowl, not people who don't know you. Now, if your Facebook following is not that large, so for us, like, we're over 5,000 people, and how many customers can we actually process that day, right? A few hundred, at least for our restaurant, right? It's some odd hundreds of customers. It's not thousands of customers in one day. We don't currently process thousands of tickets every day. We don't. Maybe you guys do. So discern what it is that you need to do. That makes sense for us. We shoot for a warm market because our Facebook page is really large. So that is what we do. And also, you need to make sure that you choose a geographic thing. Maybe you have a lot of followers from India because they like your Facebook page or your Instagram page. You want to make sure that people have liked your page or you follow your Instagram and they have the 2 to 5 mile radius of your restaurant. That is very important. Next is Facebook groups. So once you have those post schedules on your Facebook page, we talk about Facebook group on this channel a lot. I have another training on this thing. I'm going to link down there below for you. If you're not maximizing Facebook group, seriously, we got to talk about it. It's very important. I have another thing down there. You can look in the description for that episode, but choose 2 to 4 local Facebook groups. For us, for instance, we have one that has 21,000 followers on that Facebook page. And these people live in less than 5 mile radius of our restaurant. Got to be there, obviously. A lot of these Facebook groups have guidelines in the guidelines section you can read, and a lot of them allow business postings. Ours allow business posting Wednesdays and Sundays. So you betcha I got a reminder on my phone, or actually I do have a virtual assistant. My assistant goes in and posts that, but we make sure to be present and do a business posting so I can get in front of those 20,000 people. And it's free, obviously, so you better take advantage of it. So the Facebook post that you scheduled, you simply want to go in and share that on those local Facebook groups. All right, so that's one. The other one we all want to do is our email marketing. Email marketing is, that. I'm not going to it's very important, and you should be doing it already. You have a list, hopefully through your POS system, collects data, phone numbers, is it email? So it may not be email, it may be text for you, it may be messenger for you, whatever database you have. And if you don't have a database, we need to be talking about this. You got to get on that as soon as you can. I mean, it's very, very, very critical for our restaurants to continue having a healthy list of people who want to hear from us. Okay. So you want to go in, and if you do the email thing, you want to schedule it. You have the graphics, you have the caption, simply go in, craft it out, and schedule it out. Very important. The other one is in-store sign. So one of the graphics we created in Canva is going to be your in-store sign. It's going to be the photo, a gorgeous photo, maybe a team member holding it. People like to see faces. Always, it's even on social media, having a face with a thing versus just a thing will not get as many views. Okay. People like faces. It's just a thing. So have a photo of one of your team members holding the dish or something, smiling pretty, and have on top a text that you've created using canva.com. It's very, very, it's simpler than you think. It's so far simpler than you think. And you're going to simply add, enjoy X, Y, and Z on Super Bowl only for only this much, or ask our servers about our exclusive Super Bowl deal, or something or another. You want to have it prominent by your register area. You can have it, some folks have an announcement board, or in the bathroom area on the door, or something like that, that you can utilize the 4-wall space in your restaurant to, again, get more eyeball and exposure for your deal. All right. So these were 9 steps to get more exposure and marketing your Super Bowl deal for your restaurant. The last thing I want to talk to you about is your next day plan. And that's something that I always forget. And that's why I have in the checklist, because I usually forget doing this very critical step. And that is that you need to always, the following day, after any deal or promotion or an event that you got going on in your restaurant, go into the system, check what was the sales, how many of that deal did you sold, what went wrong, what went smooth, and what are you going to do different next year? This is the time for you to reflect and document while it is fresh. So next year, the work is done for you. So that is very important. Check the stats. And I really hope that you are surprised by the stats and your sales, and you're probably going to be very excited that Monday morning. I know it is good, kind of exhausted. The other thing I want to talk to you about is operational logistics. And the checklist, I go over multiple things that you need to consider as your operational logistic when it comes to Super Bowl. One is the schedule. So for instance, one of the things that we do is when it comes to different events, we have to block the schedule so people cannot request time off. It's just what it is. Otherwise, we will have no staff. I mean, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? So for Valentine's Day, we're going to do the same thing, which, hint, hint, we're going to have an upcoming episode about Valentine's. If you've not subscribed to the show, be sure to do that so we can stay in touch. I will have another checklist that you can simply follow to make your Valentine's Day a very sweet deal and a great day of sales. Block your off request. The other thing you can do is not that you can do, it's important for you to consider is creating a POS button in a manner that you can track. Another thing is communicating to the whole team the deal and the POS button and all that jazz. And this is what we do. We usually communicate it in multiple ways because one of our core values is over communication. So we use an announcement feature in our scheduling software to make it sends a notification to all of our team members on their phone from the app. The other one is we do, obviously on a whiteboard we have, or signage everywhere. Another one that is very effective that I want to just touch base on is always when we have something going on, something new that we want to make sure everybody knows about, we do one for the kitchen, we do one for the front. And that is just a sheet that on the top of it, it simply mentions, hey, I acknowledge that I'm aware of our Super Bowl deal, in this case, right, is X, Y, and Z. It cost this, and I use a lot of bullet points so people know exactly the information I want them to remember. This is how much it costs. The POS button is here. No other discounts apply. It's only delivery. I'm making stuff up, but you know what I'm saying. For them to know that these are the bullet points that they're acknowledging that they're going to remember. Now, that's one. The second part is you want to have the name of all of your team members per department, right? So you're going to have one for your kitchen and you're going to have one for the front. And you're going to have the name of all of your team members and they have to sign it. You hand it to your manager. Hey, by the end of this week, I need this fully signed so everybody knows what's going on with our Super Bowl deal. And this will make sure that your managers have talked to everybody because, Susie only works Wednesday and she was off 2 weeks and she's going to be on the phone with a customer. Customer's like, hey, what's y'all's is this and this and this. And Susie's like, I don't know. We don't have that. You don't want that. So doing a sign-up sheet like that is very helpful. I'd like you to put it into practice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, you're welcome to come onto YouTube and leave a comment as well. You need to obviously the next day remove the disable the POS button. You need to remove the Super Bowl thing from your website. These are logistics after your deal that you do need to consider. So that's that. Those are the marketing points I mentioned. I shared with you some of the operational logistics. Here's the thing. I hope that you go and download the checklist, put this into practice, and let's make some dough. I would love to hear about your sales in terms of, did the checklist help you at all? Let us know in the comments down below. You can always send us an email to makingdoughshow@gmail.com. Got questions you would like us to cover in a future episode? I'd be happy to help you. Again, we're obsessed about helping you grow your restaurant sales. Now let's get back to making some dough, and I hope to see you right here on Making Dough Show next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.